Let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to demystify the whole concept of wealth building. If you've ever felt like getting rich is some kind of exclusive club and you just missed out on the secret password, well, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to walk through a really simple, step-by-step, totally fact-based system that lets ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Honestly, this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about the simple, everyday rules of smart saving and investing that literally just work. So let's tackle the elephant in the room right off the bat. Why do most people never become millionaires? It's a pretty heavy question, right? A lot of us think wealth comes from, hitting the jackpot, inheriting a massive fortune, or suddenly landing a multi-million-dollar salary. But here's the crazy thing. Did you know the vast majority of millionaires are completely self-made? And a lot of them never even earned a six-figure salary? Take Ronald Read, for example. He was a famous janitor and gas station attendant who somehow amassed an $8 million fortune. How? Just by making incredibly smart, simple choices. The absolute truth is, becoming a millionaire is fundamentally about your daily habits, not your income. It's all about what you do with what you have, day in and day out. Okay, let's shatter the absolute biggest wealth myth out there right now. On one side, we've got income. That's your high salary, the money actually flowing into your bank account. But on the other side, we have net worth, which is what you actually own. See, your income is just what you earn, but your net worth is what you manage to keep. You build wealth by accumulating assets, things that put money in your pocket, and minimizing liabilities, the things that take money out. Honestly, earning a ton of money means absolutely nothing if you just spend it all. Owning wealth, that's what actually matters.
Because at the end of the day, it's really not about buying flashy sports cars or massive mansions. It's about true financial independence. And what that means is having enough income-producing assets to completely cover your living expenses. Once you hit that point, work literally becomes optional. You gain the ultimate power, which is absolute control over your own time. And that is exactly why owning wealth matters so deeply.
So let's get into how we actually do this. Phase 1 is all about building your financial foundation. And the bedrock of that foundation, rule number 1, spend less than you earn. Simple, right? Imagine a monthly wealth building plan for a moderate income. Naturally, a big chunk is going to go to your needs, which ensures you're living below your means. But then you've got to carve out dedicated slices for an emergency fund and investments for long-term growth. And yeah, for sure, keep a slice for fun. The real trick here is avoiding what we call lifestyle inflation. That's the trap where you just spend more because you start earning more. You really have to balance your needs, wants, and wealth creation by setting up and actually sticking to a realistic monthly budget. Now, to actually make that budget work, you're going to need these core foundation rules. Rule number 2 is totally critical. Pay yourself first. You literally have to automate your savings before you even get the chance to spend that money. Consistency with automated savings will beat trying to scrape together large one-time contributions every single time. Next is rule number 3. Build an emergency fund. Why? Because life happens. Unexpected disasters will pop up, and having cash reserves protects your growing wealth from being completely derailed by a sudden medical bill or a random car repair. And finally, rule number 8, increase your income. Look, you can only cut your expenses so much, but your earning potential, that's pretty much limitless. So learn valuable skills, negotiate your salary, or maybe start a side hustle to feed more cash into this foundation. But as you're building up this awesome foundation, you absolutely must protect it. Which brings us to rule number 7, avoid bad debt. Now, good debt is a tool. It's used to buy assets that build value over time. Bad debt, on the other hand, actively destroys your wealth. Things like high-interest loans and credit card debt, they are the ultimate villains to your net worth. They literally use the mathematical power of interest against you, just draining your resources month after month. All right, moving right along. Phase 2, the wealth growth engine.
So the fuel for this entire engine is rule number 5, understand compound growth. Compound interest is basically the process of earning interest on your initial investment. And then, here's the kicker, earning interest on that interest. Think of it like a giant snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's pretty small, just picking up a few flakes here and there. But as it keeps rolling, it gets larger, the surface area grows, and it packs on snow at a faster and faster rate. By reinvesting your profits, you're creating this exact same kind of exciting, exponential growth with your own money.
To really see rule number 4, which is invest early in action, the math is just staggering. Let's say you invest $200 or $500 a month. Around the 10-year mark, the growth feels pretty linear, maybe even a little slow. But once you hit year 20, the momentum is really building. By year 30, you're hitting that exponential curve. And by year 40, you are looking at massive, life-changing wealth. I mean, this proves mathematically why investing early and letting time do the heavy lifting is the absolute secret to compounding wealth. The opportunity cost of waiting around is just way too high. So you're probably wondering, where do you actually put this money? Rule number 6 is straightforward. Invest in quality assets. Let's demystify these asset classes real quick, because they honestly don't need to be intimidating. Your goal is to smoothly balance risk and return. And the absolute smartest way for beginners to do this is through broad stock market index funds and exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. These let you own a tiny piece of thousands of companies all at once, which gives you instant diversification. You can also look into real estate or use individual stocks and bonds to diversify even further. But the main takeaway here? Dodge the speculative, get-rich-quick hype. Quality assets are what appreciate steadily over time. And as you're investing in those assets, you really have to keep rule number 9 in mind. Stay consistent. You're going to hear this phrase a lot, and that's because it's absolutely true. Time in the market beats timing the market. Honestly, don't try to guess when the market's going to go up or down. Instead, practice long-term emotional discipline. Try a strategy called dollar cost averaging. That just means investing a set amount of money at regular intervals, no matter what the market is doing that day. Consistency is always going to outperform market panic and trying to be perfect. Now look, even with the best plans, people stumble. Waiting too long to start is a massive mistake that just wrecks your compounding potential. And when things get a little rocky, panic selling completely locks in your losses. Meanwhile, silently, ignoring investment fees and taxes will just slowly eat away at your hard-earned returns. And of course, trying to get rich quick or chasing fleeting financial hype instead of hard facts, that's going to lead you straight into a brick wall. Your best defense against all of this is rule number 10. Keep learning. Continuous financial education, like reading books or listening to experts, is absolutely your best shield against scams and bad decisions. Okay, let's bring it all together. Phase 3, your 20-year blueprint to reality. In year 1, your only focus is to just start budgeting and establish those foundational everyday saving habits. Moving into years 2 through 5, you're building up that emergency fund and really getting consistent with your investing. By years 5 to 10, something pretty amazing happens. Compound interest actually begins to visibly accelerate your net worth. And you've got to pay special attention to what happens from years 10 to 20. As you delay gratification and stick to that long-term thinking, those tiny daily actions finally transform into massive, life-changing wealth. Remember, this is a marathon, guys, not a sprint. So how do we take this explainer and turn it into a real life changer? Well, by taking action right now. Here is your strict, actionable 30-day plan. Step 1, track your expenses and create a realistic monthly budget. Step 2, set up an automated transfer to your emergency savings. Seriously, even if it's just $20, do it. Step 3, open an investment account and buy your very first broad index fund. And step 4, pick up one financial book and actually read it. You can start executing this plan today, even if you only have a really small amount of money to spare. Let's wrap things up with this final thought. Wealth is built slowly. Discipline is more important than luck, and time is your greatest asset. Every investment is a step toward financial freedom. The rules we've talked about are simple, and honestly, the math is undeniable. So the only question left for you is, knowing that time is your greatest asset, what are you going to do with yours today?